I just want to start by saying, like this is not planned. Like this. And my husband, who is not a Christian, I just texted him to come and meet me at where I was, and I said everything's okay. He knows the story already, and he just came from a job site, and he's sitting in the back. And he's a contractor, and he's covered in dust, and it's kind of a big deal that he walked in just now. So we have two friends, and they are the most beautiful people I think I've ever met, and they're lovely, and they had invited me through a text to John to come to this event, and they've invited me to a few things, and I've always passed it off, and yeah, whatever, no. And they invited me to this through a text to John, and I said through a text, yeah, sure, sounds okay. I haven't been in a church event in 20 years. And I grew up very strict Catholic and didn't believe diddly of it, to be quite honest. And I woke up yesterday morning and I decided, okay, I'm gonna go. And I'm driving down the road and I see this building that says Jesus all over it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going in. And I kept on driving to some sketchy parking lot, and I pulled in the back and I almost puked because I thought, I don't know what I'm doing here, and this is weird, and I don't know. And I ended up parking at the very end, far end of the parking lot, and I came in and I saw Ray, and I was supposed to meet her husband here, and he wasn't here, and I thought, I'm just gonna sit in the back, and I sat in almost the last row by myself in a corner, and this really pretty lady walked up to me, and I said, I really like your name, I love dahlias, and we started talking. And then she said, can I pray over you? And I did. That's weird. I went, okay. So she started, and I started crying, which John will attest to you. I am not a big crier. And I'm usually pretty stoic. And she walked away, and I sat and I listened through the whole event, and she called me down. Delia didn't know anything about me. And I stood here, and I closed my eyes, and I started to cry. And I cannot explain to you, I'm gonna try, what happened. I have 3rd stage Lyme disease, and I have not been able to bend my hands and touch my toes. I have had a stroke 3 years ago. I am in constant pain. I take dozens of medications. I have lost 2 very big jobs due to anxiety and brain fog and pain. And yesterday when I stood here, I had told no one that. I should own stocks and Kleenex. And I stood here and I had to Google what prophesizing was last night, I'll be honest. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what any of this meant. And I stood here and I don't know, something happened. People laid hands on me and I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes, and I cannot explain other than a terrible flow of black liquid was everywhere, coming from my hands and my knees and my shoulders, and I looked out and it was everywhere. It was everywhere. And I closed my eyes again because I didn't know what the hell was happening to me. I'm not supposed to say that, but and I closed my eyes again, and I just felt the biggest weight lift off my shoulders. People lying down on the floor, and I didn't know what was going on. I'll be honest with you. I just felt weird and different and totally different. And I sat for 15 minutes for the second session, and a beautiful young boy, and I don't know if he's here by the name of Jeremy, came and sat next to me, and he was from Quebec, and he said he liked my hat. And he said that he had heard a song when I was up front called Cover You or Cover Me. And he said it was a really old song. And this morning I Googled it, and it's from 2016, so that shows you. And I listened to it all the way here. But I have to tell you what happened yesterday when I left here. I sat in the parking lot for an hour to try and get my bearings because I didn't know what was going on. And I drove home, and my husband wasn't home yet. And when he got home, he said, "How was yesterday?" And I just went, or "How was today?" I said, "It was good, it was intense." That's all I said. And he's like, "Okay." So we got in the hot tub. And he said, "No, seriously, like you're talking different, you look different, you're acting different." And I told him exactly what I just told you. And then I said, "Look at this." Today raise their hands, and I'll be honest with you, I was doing this because I drove here, and John will laugh, because my car is almost empty. I never do that. Like, it's always on full. I was so distracted with my fingers. I looked at my fingers the whole way here. I can't believe it. I can't believe I can touch, I can feel, wow. Thank you. I have asked if this is going to go away, and apparently it's not going to go away. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yes. So, this is real. This is how you know. This is holy smokes. This dahlia is my favorite flower ever now. And just so that you understand the level of what I experienced when I closed my eyes, I had 15 years as a radio talk show host, OHL commentator, and news director. And then I was in two other careers, but when I closed my eyes, all I saw, and one day he'll come into a church, and I saw my son who tried to commit suicide look at me last year on that gurney, and he's okay now. I saw me announcing 9/11 and people jumping out of that building. I saw that with my eyes. I saw all the IVs I have had and the endless pain I have been in, and I saw it leaving me, and it's not a hoax. It was so thick and dark and leaving.
Come on.
And it is so real. It is so real. I said to John last night, well, we're going to start a Christian camp. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, we're going to start a Christian camp. I don't know how we're going to do that, but that's what we're going to do. And I said, I just want you to... And he goes, I don't know what you're drinking, but I want some of that. And I want our boys to feel it. I want... we have a 30-year-old and a 25-year-old. He's so real. I don't know how to explain it. It's the most real thing I've ever been through in my entire life. It is so real, and it is so in this room and in this world. And I can tell you, and I'm so glad John came to hear this, because he has watched me cry in pain and go to so many doctors who said this is never going to change, it's only going to get worse, and there is no cure, and Canada doesn't believe in a cure, and you're just going crazy, and it's not real, and it is real because I can bang. Yeah. Jesus moment, because it came and bit me on my bum yesterday.
So before she moves, I'm a wreck. I'm shaking inside because isn't Jesus wonderful? Jesus is so wonderful. And we want to do one more thing, and we want to bless Jennifer because she's my new favorite person. Jennifer has not had her nails done in years because it was too painful. And so Dave and I were talking and we were fighting, and we decided to get her a gift card to go and have your nails done.
Yeah.